Welcome on board, ladies and gentlemen. As we're preparing for takeoff, please fasten your seatbelt, put your seats in an upright position, close your overhead storages. As we prepare for takeoff, this is your captain speaking, Bzege, and I'm with my co-pilot, Mhauza.
On runway critical.
Runway critical thinking as always. Our flight today is TM020, which is effective communication. What a wonderful topic. My brother?
Effective, what about communication? Yeah, no, look, honestly, I like to give honest feelings about a destination prior to maybe indulging in it. Yeah, it looked empty from a distance, but when you started digging deep, what it means to the world, how it's described, and what it means to you, and then and bringing together those two words, and then you realize it's quite deep, and
it's
worth our time. Communication is
you've said a mouthful. You've said a mouthful. Yes, no, actually, you just highlight the roadmap for today.
Yeah, so as usual, we would like to first discuss the context and the background. That's where we want to find each other. What do we mean by communication in general? And then we'll move to second part, which is what we think it's not, right? That will set us up for enablers, attributes, for effective communication, right? And then we will then go to our desktop where we'll touch on influential books. We chose 10 of them to share with you that also speak to the subject that we are handling today. And then we then go to number 5, which is our personal observations about communication.
Yes.
I guess we wanted to get an opportunity to expand mainly on theoretical knowledge or understanding of what communication is, or that's our personal take and our own observation, and we structured it under leadership, relationships, profession, and also under business, you know.
Yeah, we have to. We can't.
So therefore, and then after that we go to a 1-minute pitch. From my side, what I'm going to pitch in 1 minute is, what if people are not interested
in communication,
in engaging with you?
You create interest.
I'll pitch that.
I like it.
Yeah. Do you have an angle?
My angle is to highlight the importance. What could be achieved with extra effort made to sharpen the communication.
Nice one. And then we go to take home. It's Kaftini.
It's Kaftini.
We make our announcements and descend.
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
So under context, maybe to open it up, is that beyond just talking, right? There are other aspects which has to do with exchange of information, right? With has to do with sharing, exchange and sharing ideas, sharing emotions, sharing, also coming about expressing whether logic or emotions. So you can use it to share. It could be a monologue.
Yeah, you know, speaking of monologue and dialogue, it's also important for us to remember that we are not going to address communication effectively only on human beings level.
Yep.
Because animals communicate.
Yep.
Forces of nature communicate.
True.
So I think in my view, communication is a very important element of existence of anything, whether it's human beings or animal or forces of nature. It's an exchange of information.
It can be spiritual.
Yeah, it can be spiritual, it can be emotional, it can be physical, it can be thoughts. Just thoughts. It could be just ideas. So communication goes a very. But in basic explanation from my side, it's an exchange of information between two parties or two elements or two objects
or more. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, look, that's what I'm saying. At the distance, it looked empty as a topic. By empty, I mean it looked as if there isn't much to touch on. And then when you start interacting with the topic itself, you realize that it's very thick.
It's very thick.
I mean, the dimensions that you've already outlined, Uguti, not only is it between beings, right? We also make efforts to communicate with animals.
Exactly.
We also make efforts to communicate with nature.
With nature.
Yes.
Most definitely, on a daily basis.
And we haven't understood or accepted that there is even that dimension. Remember when Uliope, Busiso Uliope,
yes,
the issue or the mocking of having trees.
Oh.
The reason why people had limited, if not ignorance,
he was misunderstood.
Yes. That's the reason why we need to talk about communication.
Yeah, they
would understand that there's other dimensions.
And that example is very perfect because it shows you how the majority of people are so far behind in terms of understanding basic things. That display with a majority of independent thinkers would have received a better response or reception.
Yeah, look, far back, being ignorant is like you ignore the existence of something.
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily qualifies you to be in the categories of being an idiot.
No. Yeah,
you're just ignorant. You're just not paying attention to.
Yeah, I like the example you're making.
Yeah.
Because when you speak and to people and you highlight the ignorance, they associate ignorance with stupidity. They don't separate the two. But there's a big gap between the two.
Even what we are saying now has a lot to do with our topic today. It's just the aspect of communication, right?
Yeah.
Language in itself has limitations, right?
Yeah.
There are things that that's why I believe English has dominance. It's because it's flexible and dynamic, right? We do have a native or if not a vernacular depth in describing certain things. But the English has advanced because it has been worked on for many years and it has been tested in many environments geographically.
I think the British invested well in terms of developing their language to be so dominant.
Yeah.
It's not something that it did not happen overnight, and it took a long time. It took a lot of research. It took a lot of money. It took so much for the English to be so dominant.
Yeah.
Anyway, the British are the biggest colonizers.
You know how small British is compared to its colonies. It's amazing.
There is no colonized state that is smaller than Britain in the history of mankind.
Well, it's quite an interesting dimension, right? Perhaps we need to have a discussion about
how they mastered colonization.
That contributed. How they mastered colonization.
How they mastered colonization.
Yeah. So back to the STEM, the communication, which is in not only in language, there's other types of or methods of communication. Right? We've already touched on the verbal language.
Yeah.
They are non-verbal.
Yes.
Which is expressions. Actors are good at that. I think we touched on it in one of our episodes that before they talk,
there is an expression that must make way for what will come out next. To
fall into place.
I am so passionate about that skill, Joe. You know, sorry to cut you off. Anyway, I'm so passionate about that skill because what it does is, it's sending a message, and the message is received before you even talk.
Yeah.
It's so powerful. Yeah, it's an art. It's so powerful because by the time you speak, the the landing pad is ready. And then it avoids repetition.
Yes.
So when you master the art of expression, sending that message before, you are minimizing repeating what you're saying.
Yes.
You'll only say it once.
To amplify on what you're saying, there was a time where we spoke about, and we wanted to also understand how did Adolf Hitler, the villain, manage to convince the whole nation, right? There are also studies or suggestions that his expression, his gestures, also added value in his oral.
Mamela, we'll make examples as we go on, because that's another thing I've picked up. Wuti, the greatest influencers and leaders and people who change life are not just the smartest. They are not just the educated.
The intelligent.
No, it's not about intelligence influencing society or people. It's the ability to understand how important communication is in order to convince people's mind. I'll make an example. I have a dream.
Yeah.
It's not a normal way of speaking.
Yeah.
Never and never again.
Yeah. There's
Will a white person rule this?
Yeah.
There is a unique
vocal command.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you can look at Obama, he's a buffer talker.
Yeah.
For intentional.
I got you.
So
it's intentional.
It's intentional.
You think even with that was
it is intentional.
Wow. Okay.
It is intentional because they understand. It's a craft they've been working. Yeah, you don't wake up and speak like that. No.
Maybe.
It's a craft.
I thought it was there's a natural way in which you have or you make up as a being, right? And then you can then enhance.
It's an enhancement. Yes, you're correct. You know how I learned this? I was listening to Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
And then they were asking him, why do you speak so well?
Yeah.
And then he explained that I speak well, but I had to enhance.
That's why there are voice coaches and stuff.
Exactly.
No, I totally get you. So coming back to its definition and context is that the non-verbal expressions, the written format or methods, there are written formats in terms of you can communicate with poetry written down or delivered orally. You can use visuals, which is images.
Yes.
People who art, photographers, videographers.
Yes. You can communicate so loud with art.
Yeah, and then there's interpersonal dialogue, which is in a relationship, one-on-one.
Yes.
And then there's mass communication through media.
Yes. This topic is very interesting to me. Before we even got to civilization, let's look at, if you don't mind, let's just tap into a little bit of how the ancient communicated before civilization.
How the communication evolved.
Yeah, the cave writings, using smoke, using drums, using horns.
Yeah.
So all those signals carried so much heavy information. For an example, if a tribe is invaded and they need help from another neighboring crowd, they would play drums in a certain way, which will send a signal with, hey man, we
are under attack. Yeah.
And people, there is a smoke color that would be used.
Or shaped, smoke shaped in particular.
Yes. They would use smoke to signal a tribe on another area that's on a distance that's longer to say, which we have received your message from whoever you sent.
Yes.
And we accept and acknowledge. So they would use a different color of smoke to communicate the acknowledgement.
Nice.
Very interesting. And
those were the origins or the ancient methods.
Yes.
In the stone ages of communicating.
Of communicating, and then civilization obviously came.
I mean, it came just to also tap into the evolution. During medieval wars, pigeons were used to to post.
To transport messages from one area to the other. Yeah. So communication is a very important part of human existence.
Yeah, true. Well, the sweet and short of the context is that there must be a source where it comes from, right?
And the receiver.
And there must be a message.
There must be content.
And then there must be transmission, method to deliver.
Yes.
And there must be a receiver.
And after the receiver, there must be a response.
Yes. And they say we if you've done communication 101, they say Guleo description that we've just mentioned now, there are noises, which is then the disruptors.
Of course.
Actually,
they don't want the message to get to the...
Those disruptors could be external and could be internal.
Yes, of course. I agree.
You could be sending a message and someone would want to intercept, right? Whether deliberately or otherwise. Or you could be talking to someone who's not ready for your message to receive it. They are not. Maybe it's an
comprehension.
Yeah. Which is quite important. I think we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there when we get to our personal experiences or take. Yeah? And then what do you think is not communication?
Communication is not
necessarily exchange of words.
We
can exchange words, but there's no understanding or sharing of any important, or there's no impact.
Of course, that's correct.
Don't think when you exchange words you are having a meaningful engagement.
Yeah, and the refusal to understand is also not communicating, because I'll make an example. Sometimes you want to inform people and educate, right? They are not part of your life, they are not related. I'll give you an example. When you go to a till, a checkers, and these ladies are talking to each other and ignoring the right thing that needs to be done, right? And and then instead of being irritated, you are trying to communicate the importance of
getting into business.
Yeah, getting into business, and then the ignorance to not listen.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm putting this.
Yeah.
I don't have a simple way of putting it, but I'm sure you understand the context.
The lack of being appropriate from the receiver of the message. You are trying to say, no, listen, I think I'm not happy with your conduct, right? And they would then misinterpret. Am I getting you right?
Yes, they misinterpret your initiation,
your intention.
They misinterpret your intention.
Yes,
that is not communication.
Yes. Oh, I mean, also delivering a message with frustration.
Yes, it's a no. It's not communication. Yeah, that clouds your judgment.
Is said and done, by the way.
It's a skill you must work on.
Wait until you deal with kids at a certain age, which is soft parenting. It's difficult. So soft parenting is communicating without a tone that is said to be aggressive.
And it's impossible.
That's why I wait.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Yeah, it's tough
to parent without. I know. Soft parenting is
it's got its own space. Doesn't mean incorrect.
It must.
You need balance.
You need balance.
Yeah. You need to be soft. You need to be iron fist type. You know.
It's not an easy thing to be a parent, Joe. It's not easy at all.
And what makes it difficult is the communication.
It's the communication that makes it difficult. And what made it easy, in my view, is the understanding of what is a child.
Yeah.
What's brain like.
Yeah.
You
remember when you were?
What? Yeah, I remember when I was a child. Yeah. The child's brain is a suction.
Yeah. Sponge.
It's a sponge, it's a suction. It wants to absorb as much as It wants to fill up the brain.
It wants to load.
It wants to load.
Yeah.
So once you understand that, then you understand which at some point, as they load, they need to remember with Konji, this is the parent.
Yeah.
But anyway,
yeah, I'm saying what is not also its impact cannot be measured in duration spent with engagement. So if we talk 2 hours and we talk 5 minutes, we can't say because we spoke 2 hours we had a very fruitful communication.
that's so powerful. Content is very important.
Yeah.
You can have a 2-hour conversation and have in 1 minute and say something very powerful.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. In 1 minute, I could speak to someone and talk about cognitive dissonance.
Yes. In 1 minute.
In 1 minute.
Yeah.
And then you'd have a 2-hour conversation with a person who does not understand it and
try to make sense. Yeah. So it also cannot be measured about hearing or getting what you want to hear. It's got very little to do with preference.
Communication.
Yeah. I might say things that you are not comfortable with or to deal with, right? And you cannot reduce that to bad communication.
No, it's not bad. It's actually a highlighter of the boundaries.
Yeah.
I'm a believer.
Yes.
I'm a true believer of uncomfortable communication helps.
Yeah.
When
conflict like.
Yeah, a conflict like communication. I think people who achieve more as an alliance or as partners or as whether in relationships or friendship or business, people who get to the other level of communication are people who understand that we need to cross the conflict part of communication because that's where we highlight our boundaries. And once the boundaries are highlighted between the two of us, then we know what you don't hit below the belt.
Yeah, we
automatically.
We have your measure performance a team in forming, storming, I think performing and whatever.
Marawina storming.
Materialize.
With turbulence.
Yeah, no material. Yes, I agree. Which takes us, in fact, I mean, we're just highlighting on what we think it's not communication.
Yeah.
We balance with what we think it's communication.
Yes.
So we've found that balance. We can then move to enablers.
Yes.
Of effective communication.
Of course.
Which is quite a beautiful aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you have characteristics, attributes, and what have you, but I want to open it up with this understanding.
Okay.
So, as I was immersing myself into this topic, I realized when we are communicating, right, we need to understand our audience.
Yes.
Right. Whether in terms of age, that's why there are analytics or infographics. Right. We post the app that tells you which country, which age group, which gender. You understand? Well, those are demographics. But if you go to psychographics, it's understanding if you're talking to professionals, people who are highly educated or less educated or illiterate at whatever level. Are they culturally orientated? Which culture? So it's you understanding your audience puts you in a very advantageous position. It enables, then it takes you to the next step of then packaging your content or your message. So if I know who I'm talking to and I understand their demographic and psychographics, then my content will be designed
to suit and land smoothly. Soft landing.
Yeah, soft landing, yes.
Yeah.
It will have a soft landing. And then it will that dimension would then move to the third aspect, which is the ability to take feedback or even seek or even make efforts to get feedback.
On immediate effect.
Yeah, whether through thumbs up or through constructive criticism. Right? And also understanding what criticism it could be constructive or sinister.
Yeah,
and be able to navigate between the
that's
two.
another important kind of communication. The criticism communication.
Yeah.
Especially
That's
when it's
feedback.
that's feedback. Especially when it's constructive. It assists the giver of the information. The sender to be able to know where I must correct.
To fine tune.
Yeah, to fine tune. To get the right frequency.
To adjust.
To adjust to the right frequency.
Yeah, so you had some other characteristics. The clarity, communication should feature clarity. It should be mindful. It should be sensitive to language and offensive aspects.
Yes, I don't believe in offensive communication. I think it's not effective when it's not done properly.
Yeah.
Because when you make noise and communicate and make noise, you are making it difficult for the receiver to comprehend. So I believe that a softer, more calmer, but more solid and intentional, assertive, but respectful.
So yes,
has better results.
Yeah. It's a good enabler.
It's a good enabler. It has better results. And then the funny one is the body language communication, which is also used by animals when it comes to creating interest on the opposite sex. It's so interesting.
Dogs smelling each other.
The
licking.
The what's that animal with the
peacock?
Yeah.
The showing off beauty.
The showing off.
Yeah, showboating.
Which is what humans do. It's just that humans have
boastful attributes. Look, even in your delivery of, if you are colloquially speaking, when you deliver and you have a good pronunciation, insight and abilities, you would tend to deliver it. That's why you see most of our peers that went to Model C schools, they make sure they don't miss that opportunity to pronounce things in a particular way. Because that creates a landing pad. They want soft landing.
Yeah.
Sometimes with very little substance. very little substance.
But because
with also very minimal critical thinking. That goes with it.
But the accent
will just kill everything. It's an antidote.
I think the accent, when it finds people who are not critical thinkers, it lands very well.
Very well.
It makes magic.
You know how I mean, before we even got to that, I'm just sharing something. Remind me to come back to the right stem.
Yes.
And it's some attributes. I just want to share this idea. When I say I am fana cabin, what do you think I'm saying?
That it's got an element of kabzela in it.
Thank you.
Which means funny, but at the same time in line.
You are close. But when I say nyafana kawa, it means I will be in a space where I'm competing with typically your affluent. So I will not want to conform. I will stick to how I communicate, but a focus on substance.
Make sure that the content is valuable.
Fanakawa was into content more than delivering message in a particular.
Look, being funny was something that came natural.
Well, a gift of being a comic or humorous, yes, even better. Being humorous, it's a gift that you can modify or you can acquire when paying attention to certain details. Put the other side. It's another way of communicating, by the way.
Yes, of course.
The comic angle, right? But I'm saying, you'll be in a space like we are in the space of podcasting, let's say, right? We are competing with people that went to Model C schools by and large. I was graduating class.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, how we will then make an impact, it's not how we need to struggle and find a way to sound like as if we wore a blazer, we high school. But it's about building a good substance and thought-provoking
I like where this is going, because I've learned to understand which in human existence, your defects make you special.
Yes, precisely.
So
Precisely.
I understood ukuthi a majority of people see the non-exposure to the Model C.
Yes.
Most people see it as a defect.
Yeah.
The majority of people see it as a defect.
It will hinder even the confidence.
And it has affected people around me. But then I refused. And then I came across that punchline, which your defects can make you special. And then I don't want to go to. Yeah, so after understanding the defects make you special, then I focused on the content. Let me communicate with better content and not worry about how.
You know what's the advantage?
Yeah.
When your reliance is not on the refined language, right?
Mm-hmm.
You then want to bring things that will make sense. So your reliance is in content structure.
It's directed to the right source.
So you think, okay, I didn't spend time sharpening my tongue to deliver messages in a particular accent.
Yeah.
Right? You need time, you need hours.
Yes, of course.
It just cannot happen.
Yeah.
And if you're faking it,
It will show. It will show.
And it irritates.
Hey.
So
in a major way.
So the disadvantages actually builds or bring about the advantages.
Yebo.
See,
that's very
so.
true.
But now, part of the enablers or other things that we must be mindful of, which are very interesting, are stereotypes and fallacies in communication. Let's start with the fallacies.
Yeah.
Right. The fallacies, we have ad hominem. Ad hominem. Ad hominem, an example is that you would say something about finances.
Yeah.
Why do you have to tell me when your financial situation is in tatters? So I'm not listening to the content. You might have done a research and learned from your experiences and you have valuable nuggets to share with me. But I'm focusing on criticizing.
Yeah, it's a one-sided response.
Yeah, look, you try to give me an idea or advice on how to manage or deal with finances. But because I'm aware of your financial status, I will leave the nuggets and go and attack your financial status with, I can't listen to you, we must get your house in order. That's called a fallacy of ad hominem.
Ad hominem.
Yeah.
Interesting, eh?
Yeah. Fallacy of ad hominem is that, and then with a straw man. Most people know about the straw man. It's the argument to involves misrepresenting your point. Let's say, for an example, I'm claiming that to my opponent, a new highway want to destroy our town.
Yeah.
As a politician, when the opposite is simply concerned about the environmental, I could be saying this concerned about the environmental, like example here, DA wanted to build a road, a wall, right? And you might find what they are thinking, they wanted to preserve certain things and deal with environmental issues, right? And then we went to strawman's fallacy. But it works to advantage because they are opponents on it.
Yes.
So attacking them is to attack the issue with, no, this is discrimination. They're taking us back to apartheid. You get what I'm trying to say.
I understand.
You'll misrepresent my facts. Deliberate. Yeah. So in communication, these are things you must be mindful of. So that when you communicate with people, they will do these fallacies. They will deliver these fallacies on you.
Yeah.
And you should be able to navigate.
And you must be ready with your shield to have a way to deal.
Intellect.
Intellect.
Yeah.
You must be ready to deal with these
and then when a hasty generalization.
Okay.
Hasty generalization.
I think that one sounds straightforward.
You make a judgment based on sometimes hearsay on very little information. That is not your favorite go-to line. Is not factually.
Please bring me back to focus.
When you have information that cannot be tested for facts.
Oh, that cannot be verified.
Yeah, verifiable.
Yeah, verifiable information. Hey, I realized how much nonsense I've been speaking after you.
You're in hasty generalization. Hasty generalization. It's a common fallacy. Right? Let me make an example. Typically they say men are dogs. Ne?
Yeah.
It's a typical thing. Men are dogs.
Typical thing.
Then men are dogs. How many men have you dated in your life?
Yeah, bese athi mhlambe angithi uzoba afuna ukuavoida ilo.
Uyazi ukuthi ngiyaphi manje.
Yeah, uyazi ukuthi uyaphi. So manje ufuna ukuminimize embarrassment. Angeke unike the right number. Bese athi 10 for example.
Yeah.
Bese whether uthi are you basing your judgment on 10?
The next question is how many men that are in your status, let's put it that way, percentage wise, right? Do you think exist in South Africa? So don't even answer. You think 10 represented this?
Yeah. Now you're giving facts and numbers.
That's hasty generalization. Hey. That's our daily mistake. That's common for us.
We have a majority of our citizens who are still trapped and who have they've reached a point of no return.
Yeah.
And they are happy with that kind of thinking. And you don't even want to engage with them to create the awareness because they fight back when we create awareness about how far behind they are with that kind of thinking.
Yeah. So then who's the slippery slope? Many people know slippery slope. Slippery slope is
very common.
Yeah. You see when now they say EAI, which is, let's say, ChatGPT for an example, it will make people stupid. It will make us stupid. That's also hasty generalization. At the same time, it's the combination.
It's a combination of both.
There's no evidence that ChatGPT will make us stupid. So I'm not sure why people fall into these fallacies, but I guess.
What's the generalization part?
Hasty.
Yeah,
hasty generalization.
Yeah.
If in the false dilemma or in false dichotomy.
Yeah, can I just send this message? Business, sorry. But we can continue talking.
First, false dichotomy, it's mainly to do with, an example is when someone says to you, you are either with us or them, So this presents only present two option sides where there are actually multiple possibilities that could exist. You might be not with them or with that person that actually suggests otherwise with you. So the fallacy of dichotomy, I think it's not necessarily common, but we tend to fall into it unexpectedly. And then there's a fallacy which has to do with appeal to authority. Appeal to authority is like, my doctor said the diet that I'm on is the best diet. Because it's said by someone with authority, you conclude. You forget about researching and finding out
and getting the facts and second opinions and side effects.
Verify and fabricate.
My brother, I must compliment you on this one. You have taught me a very, very valuable lesson in life that is working for me now. Oguti, do the best to be self-sufficient. Don't wait for things to be told. Do right without being monitored and told.
Go out of your way.
Go out of your way to verify, find out, get information. And funny enough, there is so much information in this world to rely on one source.
True.
This world is full of information.
Precisely.
But anyway...
you're still on point. To explore. Let's talk about the way to explore.
Yeah.
Right? Exploration. How British, going back to our colonizers, right? How they mastered the art of colonization. It was through exploration. So they had exposure of the world. They knew the weak points and areas where they will find challenge, right? Hear me.
I'm hearing, listening.
So explorer, man, it's not about taking a ship and going somewhere else. It could be going to the YouTube. It could be going to an encyclopedia.
AI is our ship.
It's our yes.
AI is our ship to take us anywhere we want to go.
So you hop on that ship.
Hop on that ship.
Yeah, and then you can explore.
And explore the world.
Yeah, and see how much information you want to have at the end.
This world is full of information.
Yes.
Not to be part of that boat, my brother.
Yeah. So there's appeal to authority. So it means one thing, not because we are behind the camera that everything we say is true. No. So by the fact that someone is sitting behind, let me just make an example. By the fact that someone is sitting behind a camera, they hold a certain degree of authority over
someone who's on the other side. Yes.
For the fact that someone has followers, they hold a certain degree of authority. For the fact that someone appears on social media and people are interested in their content, they hold a certain authority, but that does not necessarily mean they hold a superior logic, either argument or position.
Yeah, no. That's not the defining factor.
For the fact that people hold authority of either become or be a political leader, that does not qualify them to conclude.
As more intelligent people, no.
Yeah, because you are a good songwriter. I had that mistake. People who used to write beautiful songs,
they're not good singers.
Yeah. They socially, they hold ordinary views about life. Ordinary meaning like you and me. And when you put them at the pedestal, that whatever they say, whatever Cardi B says, you think it's the shit. Whatever, who's this ex-wife,
Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, whatever the Kardashians say or suggest or like, you think it's
the own thing.
So you forget that you are sitting on a different side of the fence, if I can put it that way. They have a different
they are in business, they are at work.
I'm saying their position gives them a default authority of some kind.
Yes.
Which easily can be mistaken with superiority.
Look, you've made a very, very perfect example by mentioning the Kim Kardashians when you also made that example about the doctor. So I'm happy that you are highlighting it so well, that when you get information, it's always necessary to verify or cross-check or double-check or do whatever you can or get a second opinion. That's a very verify and validate. That's a very valid point.
If someone says rest in peace X1Y what, you must go find other information that suggests that the person, it might be a cloud chasing a post.
Yeah, it's very important to verify and cross-check.
Yeah. And then just one or two, it's the bandwagon of course. If a few says this, it flies. You just a mob side.
Yeah, you are just a follower.
Yeah, you don't even check. You get a clip of someone that says, and then people start making.
And you also follow suit.
Straw man.
Yeah.
Fallacy with a clip. And then now you jump into that into that bandwagon. So these fallacies, Zege.
Yeah.
It's something that I find very interesting. So I'm mindful of what I say, and if sometimes I even qualify with what I'm saying, it's an opinion, right? Meaning it's not a factual discovery. And I would also tell you that I'm using my logic right now. I'm using my common sense. It's got nothing to do with books that I've read that have summed it up to a certain conclusive details. So that helps me to sometimes being able to communicate in a way that is generally appreciated from the content perspective. Okay, we hear what you say, and the ability in communication to say, I didn't think of it that way. That's very powerful.
Do you know
accepting that the information that you are getting, the information that you are getting, it's quite either thought-provoking or it's new.
saying that puts you in a better position.
Safer.
And it's safer and it's better because it's a platform for additional knowledge.
Yeah.
Because when you say that to someone with the right tone and with the right timing, chances are they'll be so interested in giving you as much info as they can.
Yeah.
Because of how you handled that situation.
You want some more?
Yeah, I'll give you some more.
Yeah. Because of time, I'm suggesting augmentation, right?
Yeah.
So with desktop. I think
let's go to the desktop.
Straight to desktop.
Straight to desktop.
Remember, we are sharing books, 10 books. The first one is Dale Carnegie. My man, that's cool. How to Win Friends and Influence People. It sounds like a...
It sounds like you've read it.
Yeah, I have this book.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It explains principles of persuasion, empathy, and interpersonal influence in personal and professional relationships. Yeah. Yeah, remind me next time.
Yeah,
I'm so engaged. Yeah, Marshall
Rosenberg, yes.
Non-violent communication. That's another book. Number 2 introduces a framework for communicating with empathy, which is important, focusing on needs, feelings, and constructive dialogue. It's not easy to have a constructive dialogue. Sometimes you need to know your audience and be able to gauge can I make it more academic in texture, or should I tone it down? So that's very important. So Chris Voss, I also read this, Never Split the Difference, Negotiate Like Your Life Depends on It.
Yeah.
Beautiful book. Shout out to Nkantla, my nephew, Peter Wings, Shout out my boy. He gave me this on my birthday last year. My man, I can't emphasize how this was a great. We were chatting about it almost every week or every other week.
Yeah.
When I get to certain chapters, so I don't want to touch on it too much. Here it's about negotiating strategy used by FBIs, hostage negotiators, emphasizing on listening, empathy, and psychological insight.
Sounds interesting.
Very interesting. Swans. I told about swans. Swans are things that you need to know that you don't know when you negotiate. Yes. And then Deborah Tenen, you just don't understand. It explores how gender differences influence communication styles and misunderstandings, right? Gender. And then Daniel Goleman, the title is Emotional Intelligence. Demonstrates how emotional awareness and empathy influence effective communication and leadership. And then Stephen Covey, I also read this one. I have this one's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Beautiful read as well, to my interests. Introduces principles such as seek first to understand before you are understood.
Yeah.
I have to repeat this one.
Understand.
Seek first.
Yeah, seek first and then.
First to understand. Before you are understood.
Before you are understood, you must understand the other side first.
And then Kemin Gallo, Talk Like TED, which is analyzes effective public speaking techniques used by influential speakers. You're gonna like this one, I think.
Which one?
Kemin Gallo, which is the title is Talk Like TED.
Talk Like TED.
It analyzes effective public speaking techniques. Examples
used by influential speakers.
Maybe they are properly articulated there.
Let's see.
And then we will know Cheap Health and not Dan Heath. Cheap Heath and Dan Heath. I think they are related. I'm not sure if they are couples. Made to Stick. Explain why some ideas communicate effectively and others fail. Those are the 10 books that we are prescribing on our desktop for you to interact with and engage with. Choose any of the ones that we've mentioned. I know you can go back, play, pause, and write down. So that's basically that. And then we go to our 1 minute pitch.
1 minute pitch.
So my 1 minute pitch, it's very simple. It's what if you need this, the timer. What if no one is interested to listen? Okay. Let's go. Yeah, just press that. Okay, I'll tell you now.
Are you ready?
Yeah. first thing you need to know is that is your content, maybe the disengagement, is it because of is the content irrelevant to them? They know about it but they're not interested in it. Is it unfamiliar, or is it not well delivered? Understanding those dynamics, you will be able, as you said, to raise up interest, because interest depends on those 4 pillars. So it's important to make sure that your language it's informative, it's structured, and it's thought provoking. So for you to have a communication that raises interest, those are the aspects that you need to do. We need to work on. That's my 1 minute pitch. Thank you very much.
You still have 10 seconds.
That's enough. That's the whole point. Remember, a 1 minute pitch is to sharpen our skills to deliver things under the least
amount of time, but very valuable.
Yeah, so it's training for us, by the way.
All right. I'm also ready.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, through history, communication has shaped civilization. That is a fact, right? And now, if communication is shaping civilization, then it means effective communication is one powerful tool that every human being must possess. To me, communication, it's like the engine that runs human progress. Right? So, for an example, if you talk to a man in his language, it goes to his head, right? Because he can resonate. But then if you talk to a man in a native language, it goes to his heart. Can you understand the difference?
Yeah.
That's for me, that's an example that defines effective communication. Understanding how to go to the heart and how to go to the brain of another person.
Nice one. Well put. And then, take home. My take home, simple. There are 5 phrases, if not terms, not even phrases, just terms, that sharpens or give you an upper hand when you deal with communicating, because there's feedback, there's a loop.
Yeah.
Right? We communication. They will tell you how they feel or what they think with what you're saying. They will give you their ideas, so it means you must listen to them. So sometimes we are sharing ideas, or sometimes it's an inquest, we are getting into the bottom of something. So people must either tell the truth or do something reasonable. So there you will find evasive type of characters, right? They're either evasive, they're either offensive, they're either defensive, they're either deflective, or they are deceptive. Right?
Yeah.
So with those characters, or with that methods or techniques or tactics, let's put it that way, people use these tactics. When people are offensive, it means they are hiding something. So when or they have lost the argument.
Yes.
Right? Offensive, they will be vulgar, swearing. So in social media, you'll interact with someone and then they start them sooner thing, right? Then I pack my bags. I don't entertain because I know I've already won this thing. That's offensive. If defensive, they will worry about their position.
Yes.
Far more than what you have to say.
And sorry, just to add.
I find that a lot in
to add on that, defensive also goes along with people who have too many secrets.
Yeah.
When they're hiding in
So when people are defensive, you must know truly they are hiding something.
Yeah.
And if they are deceptive, so they are manipulative.
Yes.
They will deceive you to believe. That in a normal relationship, especially when a man is chasing a woman, right? 9 out of 10 times, we just want to get laid. Because honestly speaking, generally, right, I've met very few women who are very thoughtful, funny, and resourceful in my life. Very few. So
it's usually the other way around.
We are thoughtful, resourceful,
funny, and
and idealistic.
And confrontational.
Yeah, women just bring their sexiness on the table. In most
they
cases,
enhance.
Not all, but few. So, or if not many. But generally, as you interact from a male's perspective, listen to my message, as you interact with women, you realize that you become evasive and deceptive. So, okay, they enjoy when there's money into the things, there's vacations, there's gifts, right?
Yeah.
And when what is in it for you, which we're gonna discuss about hypersexualization, it's getting late. So that's why you will find that men are very deceptive when it comes to that dating game. So when you interact and engage with them, if there's only thing I'm going to teach my daughter is to understand those 5 things, that there's people are defensive, evasive, deceptive, and also offensive in nature. But that's the nutshell. Before C is over.
Yeah.
Time is up.
That's the nutshell, yes. So Shuti, you start the second part with my take home.
Yeah, you're still on. Go ahead.
Oh, with my take home?
Yeah.
Okay. Take home for me is that this world is full of information that needs to be communicated well. So if each and every person could make it their own personal responsibility to grab the information that is available in this world and learn the skills of communicating that information well, someone will grab that information and use it wisely, which is why we're doing the making. This is a form of communicating, and we are going to enhance how we communicate with you. It's going to be my personal responsibility to make sure that I grab as much information as I can that's available in this world and communicate it to the people. It's going to be my primary duty. And then at the same time, take home for me as well is that I need to match the AI communication because it is the future. I need to communicate well with what is happening now.
Okay. Yeah, I guess enough said. We can just go to announcement of our next.
Yes, as we descend, ladies and gentlemen, or before we descend, can we announce what's happening on the next episode?
That's what I suggested. What's our next?
No, we are doing a reflection on the past 5. You remember?
That's a separate thing.
That's a separate thing.
Yeah.
Okay, then 1 minute just to get into my phone and to announce the next destination.
Yeah, it's 2-1. Yes, democracy failed us.
021.
Yeah. We are asking the question if democracy has failed us. That's our next.
All right. Well, hey, another interesting one. Has democracy failed us? So as we prepare for the landing, please put your seats in an upright position, fasten your seatbelt, close your overhead storages, and thank you for flying with us.
Yeah.
We'll see you on the next flight, which is flight TM021.
Yeah. Be our blesser by doing the click things. Whether it's subscription or liking, any button that needs to be pressed for you to be our blesser. And with that said,